What I'm going to show you today is just how quick and easy it is to set up the 6-pot DWCR deep water culture recirculating system from basement lighting, basementlighting.com. As you can see, the entire kit just comes in one tidy box. What I'm going to do now is just unpack the kit and run through the contents. As you can see, we've got the system unpacked. We've got a 100 litre flexi tank, 6 20 litre pots, lids with net pots, air pump, air pipe, glands, tees, flexi pipe, air stones, and most important, the timed control pot. The only things required to put the system together are an adjustable spanner, some sharp scissors, a pot of hot water, preferably boiling, so you can stick the flexi pipe in there and just soften it up. What I'm going to do now is connect the control pot to the flexi tank. When we send the systems out to you, we'll give you a generous length of pipe, one for the pump return, one for the overflow. According to how close you want the system to the actual reservoir, trim the pipe to suit your own requirements. After having fitted the pump return pipe, I'm now going to trim the overflow pipe and also fit that to the reservoir. Now that we've connected the control pot to the flexi tank, it's time to connect the control pot to the rest of the pots. Inside the control pot you'll find 2 glands and 2 straight connectors. Take the nut off the back, one of the washers, push the gland through, put the remaining washer back on the inside of the gland. Then of course put the nut on it. Tighten it up as tight as you can with your fingers, and then just like a quarter of a turn with a spanner. Just repeat that onto the other side, we'll be ready to fit the pots. Now that we've fitted a gland to each pot, it's time to connect the pots to the control pot using your T-pieces and the flexible pipe. If you look into the back of the T-piece, you'll find a unique, simple filtering mechanism which prevents clay pebbles, dead root material and other bits and pieces actually fouling the T-piece and blocking the system. Now that we've got all the pots connected together, starting from the control pot, we're just going to finish off the pipe work by just putting a simple loop at the end of each run of pots. Remember, just before you start chopping your pipe, it's always a good idea just to lay the pots out and just imagine how much space you're going to need in between each pot before you actually start chopping your pipe into pieces. As you can see, the air pump and the air lines are all connected now. I've just got this last final piece of air pipe to connect to the last stone. When you're measuring your pipe out, it's always a good idea just to leave enough slack in the pot to allow for the root mass. first thing to do is just add 2 or 3 inches of nutrient to the system. That way you can find any leaks before you fill the system right to the top. The easiest way to initially fill the system is to mix your nutrients in the barrel, release it through the tap at the bottom, through the filter, into the control pot, and to save time, the first time you fill the system up, you can actually use a smaller bucket to actually bail the nutrient into the pots. Fill the pots up until the float valve in the control pot reaches its natural level. Looking inside the control pot, what you can see is the overflow pipe, the nutrient return pump, and the float control valve. When you first get started out and the plants are small with very little root mass, it's always a good idea to have the float control valve set at the top. That will give you a higher level of nutrients just below the baskets throughout the whole system. Once you've got a decent set of roots on each plant, you can just simply slide the ratchet down and that will automatically regulate the level to a lower level. This is your timer. This is connected to the nutrient return pump. When you receive your system, you'll find your timer preset to a 3-hour interval. That means that every 3 hours the pump will be activated and it will pump the nutrient from the system back into the tank. The nutrient then runs out of the bottom of the tank, through the filter and back into the control pot and on into the system. That's how you get your recirculation. I've now set the timer and switched the pump onto a pumping cycle so you can see what happens. The water's being pumped out of the control pot back into the reservoir through this flow control valve. That's your overflow. That will prevent any flooding should the level actually reach the top of the barrel. The only real maintenance required with the system is just to check the EC and the pH levels. That can be done at the reservoir. Because the system is recirculating, the readings in the reservoir will tell you what's happening throughout the whole system. Also, once a week, switch off the tap at the bottom of the reservoir, open the inline filter, remove the filter and simply wash it under a tap. That'll make sure that the system doesn't get blocked and everything runs as it should do. So that's the 6-pot DWCR. These systems come in a range of sizes from the 6-pot you've just seen all the way up to the massive 48-pot. You might also be interested in our DWCR root rapid systems. I should also say that all of our systems, regardless of the size, come with the appropriate amount of clay pebbles. Thank you for viewing.